I want to help you understand and get some clarity on what's important for you and what you want to really accomplish in your own business. When I first got into real estate, I house hacked a couple houses, and this is long before it was sexy. You know, it's like now people buy a house, they house hack it, they buy a small multi-unit, they live in one unit, repair, fix up the other ones, move into that one, and they continually grow that. But when I did it, it wasn't the thing to do. But one thing that I found out, I heard Jim Rohn say years ago, is that success leaves clues. And if you listen to and follow successful people, model what they do, build some big habits around that, you can ultimately cut your learning curve or shorten your length of time in getting, growing your business. So while I was house hacking, I met a real estate agent that was really successful at the time. This is 30 years ago, so I'll date myself a couple of times with this. But he was selling maybe 100 houses a year at that time. And this is back in the Chicago market when the housing market where you could buy houses for $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. And I went to him and I said, hey, I'm thinking about going into business. And he said, I think that you'd be really good at it. He encouraged me to go into business. And I went to him and I asked him if I could shadow his team. And he said, no, I'm going to do one better than that for you. I'm going to make you a cassette tape. So, here again, I'm going to date myself because I don't think we can find anything to make a cassette tape on today. But I equate that to podcasts today. And if you listen to podcasts over and over again, you get those ideas. You go back and listen to it a second or third time, you're going to get new ideas. And what I did was I listened to that cassette tape and burned it out. I went in the real estate business. I sold 78 houses my first 9 months in the business. And that was because I followed some simple models and built some habits that helped me to do that. I'm going to talk about money tonight a lot. I'm going to talk about different kinds of money and how we use it, how we can get it, how we can put it to work for ourselves. Let me ask this. Who's tired of rising costs of gas, bread, of milk, of lumber, material when you're doing a rehab, right? Everything's gone up. How do you change that? Well, how you change it is you have to do something that's going to help you keep up with inflation. And that's what real estate investing does. I'm going to cover some basics tonight. So we're going to talk a little bit about real estate investing fundamentals. I'm going to, hopefully there's some new people in the room. Anybody new tonight? Great. Hopefully we'll cover some real estate fundamentals and why investing in real estate is key. We're going to talk about relationships. I believe that in the real estate business, in the multifamily space, having good relationships is strategically important. And we're going to talk about different kinds of relationships to have. I'm going to talk about multifamily investing and the keys behind that, the fundamentals that help you grow your business. I'm going to talk about buying strategies. How do we source some of the best deals that are out there? And I'm going to talk about exit planning. I wrote a book called Exit Planning, and this is your complete guide to multifamily investing. And I wrote it because I sat in a lot of seminars, I sat in a lot of coaching sessions, and trainers would always teach you how to get into business, how to find a deal, how to operate a deal, but nobody ever taught you how to get out. And I wanted people to understand when to get out of a deal, how to maximize your profit. Anybody have an interest in reading this? Somebody want it?
I'll buy it from you.
You can come get it. We got that just because it was close, so pay attention. We're going to talk about the traps. We're going to talk about market traps, how we pick markets. I said I buy in the Southeast United States. That's because we look at specific markets. I'm going to talk about the underwriting process. Underwriting is just a fancy word for analyzing a deal. So what we do is we take current financials, we put them in a tool. I'm going to go through that tool with you tonight. I'm going to teach you how to do some due diligence and some operations on the back end. I have to talk about this first. The attorneys always want me to say that I'm not a lawyer, I'm not an accountant. Anything I say is speculative. It's all personal experience, personal knowledge. I don't take any success or any responsibility for anyone's success, and I don't take any responsibility for anybody's failure. We all do that on our own. Anybody ever read a book by Gary Keller called The Millionaire Real Estate Investor? I think it's probably one of the greatest real estate books ever written. There's some really key principles and fundamentals in that book that if you're a real estate investor, you should read that book and read it more than once, because it'll give you an idea of systems and models and habits to build into your real estate investing business. When I first read that book and I opened up to the first page in it, Keller has this quote, right? He says that financial wealth is the unearned income to finance your life mission without ever having to have to work. Who'd love that? So what real estate can do for us, I don't believe that there's other vehicles out there that can do the same thing. Now what you have to say to yourself is, what's my mission? What is your mission? What are you trying to accomplish? Hey, maybe if you want a bigger house, maybe if you want to own more units, maybe it is that you have a heart for building a well in Africa, or helping the homeless, or human trafficking. But whatever your mission is, be clear on that mission. Because when we're clear on it, it helps us to move forward. And I think our mindset in the midst of all of this is critically important to how we grow our businesses. So a little bit about me. Been in the real estate space 30 years. Got in the business, I was a residential real estate agent. I sold 78 houses my first 9 months into business because I followed those systems and those techniques on that cassette tape. I went on and built a team. We sold over 125 houses a year, and we did that for about 12 years consecutively. 2005 rolled around, I saw the market starting to shift, and I knew I would have to go do something different at that point. So I always have wanted to be in the apartment business. You know, this is one of those things that I thought about a lot. There were a couple of large apartment syndicators, and what a syndicator does is they put together a real estate offering, they bring it to the market, they raise private equity, and bring other investors in to all participate in the profits of that piece of real estate. So I watched a couple syndicators in Chicago be really successful over the years. And I've always wanted to go in that business, because here's what I understood. You could raise private capital, marry it with a great real estate deal, stay in the middle, and as long as everything went well, everybody made money. 2005, I went out, I syndicated my first deal. Over the next 30 months, I raised $18 million. I bought 4,000 apartments in 5 U.S. markets, built a property management company managing 7,500 units, built a company pretty close to $100 million in value. 2008 rolled around, we started to unravel, had some challenges. As a result, we've unwound everything. Today I'm back in the coaching and training business and syndicating apartment deals again. So let's talk about money. I believe there's 4 kinds of money. First kind is dead money. This is money that people have sitting in a bank account, maybe making 1% interest, 2% interest. This is money maybe somebody has in home equity in their house. But there's dead money. Dead money typically makes between 4 to 5% interest. It really doesn't grow. And when you look at where inflation's at today, at 8, 9, 10%, if you have money that's only earning 3%, you're actually losing 6 or 7% a year on that money. I did a financial literacy event at church, and I was speaking, and a woman came up to me, and she felt so proud. She had, $250,000 in a money market account. She was making about 1% on that money. And when I explained to her that she was really losing 7%, she just couldn't get her arms around it. But when you look at the cost of goods, the rising cost of gas, everything getting more expensive, and your wages not keeping up with it, you have to have another vehicle to keep up with it. The other kind of money is safe money. This is money that people have, those emergency funds, they have it sitting on the sidelines, just in case, right? Just in case money. But I want to be safe, just in case I need to do something. That money will earn maybe 5 to 8% interest. And then we have healthy money. Healthy money, you're getting a little bit better. You're feeling better about it. The money's growing. And healthy money will make maybe 8 to 12%. But then we have wealthy money. This is where the wealthy people in our country spend their time. Wealthy money makes well over 12% a year. Now, I want to ask you, what's your money doing right now? Is it gainfully employed? Is it really helping you grow? Is it doing anything for you financially? So I'm going to talk tonight a lot about ROI, your return on investment. And I'm going to talk about how you can take money from one of these categories, put it somewhere, and it's going to give you the opportunity to grow it. Over a 30-year average, the real estate returns have been about 27% on average over 30 years. The fact is that real estate is so powerful that 90% of the wealthy people in our country have real estate in their portfolio, and most of them have multifamily real estate in their portfolio. So how do we get there? One thing I just want to back up for a minute. I'm going to talk about the stock market for a minute. Over that same time period, so over a 20-year period from 2002 to 2021, the stock market grew at 6.4%. If you have money in the stock market, I'm not going to ask you to raise your hand. But the good news about that is that over 30 years, the stock market grew 7.3%. So now take a look at that chart on the 4 kinds of money. Ask yourself where your money's at and what you can do differently. I think that we all have to have a vision. You know, Horatio Alger said that a man without a vision is like a ship without a rudder. We're just going to go in circles, right? And the more circles we go in, the more confused we get. You have to have a vision and a direction. Your vision turns into goals. That's where you set your goals. Those goals, once you have a strong why about why you want to accomplish that, you know, if you want to own 20 units, 50 units, 200 units,